Hello, friends. It's Chapo.
I saw a good comment. Someone was like, now I know that George the Cat is run by a white man the way that he talked to a black woman.
That cat should watch itself.
I'm going to earn that cat by the tail and whelp it into a brick wall like Roberto Duran.
No, this is, look, it's everybody's favorite war, really. It's everyone's favorite discourse war. On the one side, you've got disabled people. On the other side, you've got Instacart shoppers. Who will win? Let's let the internet decide. Actually, I mean, I think truly the war over.
I wonder who's going to win in that contest between people who have to fucking work for a living and people who are online all day talking about their fucking fake disabilities.
I think that this is just a proxy war in the much larger conflict between men and women that exists on the internet.
It's true. As we said, the Kanye-Kim election is inevitable. The real war is a gender war.
Because here's the thing. Men and women have very different shopping energies. And I'm not going to say one is superior to the other, but like the experience of shopping at a grocery store with another guy or by yourself and shopping for a woman or with a woman is they're two very different energy streams. Again, not taking sides here. I will just say that there are a lot of expectations that are assumed on both sides when it comes to shopping for groceries. And we're seeing it now with George the Cat.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, a man is never going to be able to do a woman's grocery shopping because, woman needs 7 or 8 types of tampons just to get through the day. She needs a bowl meal. Women, of course, descended from the Far East, and they prefer to eat their meals in bowls. Men descended from typically Western Europe, where plating and sometimes breading is more the norm. But there's a sort of a clash of civilizations that Samuel P. Huntington talked about between men and women. And this goes into overdrive when women are bitten by a deer or a tick and get chronic Lyme disease and need a special accessible bowl.
There's a news story about this. Feline internet celebrity George the Cat slammed over ableist Instacart comments.
I don't know that this was ableist though, because okay, was the woman actually disabled?
Well, I'll stop you right there, Felix.
Okay.
It was. Right. Okay? It was.
It was. Because it doesn't matter about the specific person that you're referring to. Every address to every person must be assumed by a third party to apply to literally everyone on Earth. That's what communicating on public social media means.
Now, I know in the tweets in question, the woman complaining about her Instacart shopper was well enough to go to the grocery store they were shopping at and confront them. But that doesn't mean necessarily that they're, able to go to the grocery store or that they want to.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I get it. Like, I have a disability that keeps me from going to the grocery store. It's depressing. How about that? How about, it's sad to see. I get yelled at when I use my Groyper credit card. I don't like going there. It's my disability. I don't like seeing a 73-year-old man who's completely by himself buying not even Greek yogurt, but like way too much Dannon. What are you staying alive for? I don't know. It's sad.
It's funny. I do find grocery stores kind of depressing.
They are. But, I had I guess I've had a lot of neuroses in my life, I'll admit, but I used to have like a neurotic thing about like people from school, like people from the college I was going to, like seeing me buying groceries for some reason when I was going to school in Minnesota.
Oh God. I mean, there's nothing more embarrassing.
I don't know why it's so embarrassing, but it is like, it feels like depressing kind of, because it's like, I don't know. It's like they can figure out how alone you are by what's in your cart. There's something that's so depressing about it. Like seeing meat and vegetables and then like, oh, he got a pint of ice cream. Why? For fun? I don't know why it's so fucking depressing. It just is. It is.
Like a coworker or colleague seeing you check out 15 items or less. You're like the type of, you shop every night because you don't have like the foresight to plan ahead. and you're just getting like individually wrapped slices of American cheese, Gatorade, and then just boxes only. Like no fresh fruits or vegetables, no meats, nothing like that. Just boxes of crackers, cookies. You know what else comes in boxes? Candy.
Oh, no, I mean, that's like what I
Cereal.
buy now. But I used to eat really well because I was like a big like workout and Joe Rogan guy. I would buy like fresh kale, but I was still like horrified at the possibility of anyone recognizing me.
Well, here's the deal. It's like if someone sees you buying groceries, then in their imagination, it's only just a hop, skip, and a jump to imagining you defecating the food that you're just buying.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
humiliating.
also, I mean,
imagining that your girlfriend is home recovering from a bong hit transplant.
that's true. I think it's worse to see somebody eating a prepared dinner alone than it is to see them shitting.
Or people are seeing you check out, you're scanning your items and then people are just imagining. I bet he's shopping for a woman who's housebound, but he's getting all the wrong brands and he's not checking the ripeness of the avocados. And he's basically doing ableism like George the Cat. George the Cat, folks. George the Cat. Were you guys aware of George the Cat this week?
I sadly was aware of George the Cat. And that's what's funny because even though George the Cat was on the side of the angels in this pointless, idiotic argument, George the Cat as a concept absolutely deserves to be euthanized at the soonest convenience. Put into a microwave at the at the shelter. Just get him out of here. It was a story about a cat that was at some office, and then some lady was mad at the cat for putting butter on it or something, and it became a viral post that then someone decided to turn into a Twitter that supposedly is from the point of view of the cat. It's a very 2012 type of thing, like a IKEA monkey on the loose type of deal. But in this case, George the Cat was extremely leftist. That's the key component of George the Cat, because it's a cat that puts butter on its head at work, but also is a cab.
Not anymore. Not anymore. I'm just going to read from this news account. Jorts is a pretty plain-looking orange tabby that hit it big on Reddit in 2021. A Redditor claimed that Jorts was an office cat, and things evolved, and Jorts somehow became a supporter of organized labor. Who knows how these things happen? Anyway, the internet loves Jorts, and several news outlets picked up on the buzzy animal, replete with quotes from the cat. Here's an example of Jorts talking to Business Insider. It's been really clear how terribly the odds are stacked against the working class, especially in the U.S. As a worker cat myself, I have solidarity. Okay, first of all, cats do not have solidarity with any living thing other than themselves.
They have no solidarity, and they do not work for anybody.
This is like the director of the Fetterman campaign, by the way. It's like Fetterman's Karl Rove.
Okay, all right. We're caught up. Now, because this is the internet and the internet is more fickle than a cat deciding if it wants to come inside or not, things have taken a turn. It all started fairly innocently. A person on Twitter talked about a bad experience with a grocery delivery. Quote, "My last time using grocery delivery and I got a man. He started refunding stuff that I knew dang on well the store had. I was so pissed I got in the car and went to the store he was at. Bruh was literally standing in one aisle on the phone. This doesn't seem to be the type of thing that would get Jort's interest, but alas, the cat can't keep its mouth shut, apparently. Jorts the cat replies to the Instacart complainer with just this, idea, go get your own groceries. Bro, Jorts, that is
I'm
not
sorry?
cool.
What if they can't, even though they did?
So this is one cat no one will be crying when they get put to sleep.
Yes, it was very funny because the reason there was such a backlash against George is because George was the extremely leftist Reddit cat. So when people saw this, they were like, George, rethink this. You are betraying all that you stand for by being ableist against people who need to have grocery slaves. And that's only possible because it really does remind you of how like people ended up worshiping like fucking calves and shit because and like looking at the looking at chickens like pecking feed and deciding whether to go to battle or not based on that. You got this cat that like I guess had butter on its head or something, and some busybody in the office was mad at the cat, and then the person describing the antics of the cat put it in a context of like, oh, HR giving you the business. And so people decided, yes, Jorts, you speak for me as an exploited worker. And then somebody decided to give Jorts a voice and it became like a real thing. Like people have this actual relationship with this imaginary cat who in reality is right now licking its asshole and dreaming about murdering the largest baby that it could get its mouth on.
Okay. Just following up on George, though, it says, so obviously not everyone can get their own groceries. A slight misfire by George, but not the end of the world. Someone gave George a chance at redemption by telling him if someone is sick or caring for someone who is, they probably can't leave. For some reason, George doubled down. This evil cat replies, and those folks wouldn't get in the car and confront a worker being judged by an algorithm for sub-minimum wage. I got to say, kidding aside here, George the cat is correct about this. And people who complain about gig economy wage slaves are the scum of the earth. I think that's been fairly well established by this point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, not having to go to the grocery store is, like, it's a luxury that was previously only afforded to, like, people who made $10 million a year.
And George H.W. Bush.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think you can complain too much when it's not, like, perfect.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, as long as basically what you ordered arrives at your house, like, I really don't think you have any right to complain if like one of the brands, like your favorite cookie brand wasn't in stock, or they got like the regular Lay's instead of the ridged chips. It's food. You can eat it.
Yeah. Also, like, why are you cooking? You know, I'd say that you're more able than most people if you're cooking all your meals.
Very good point.
Yeah.
You're forgetting though, like what politics boils down to online now. I mean, probably always was, but certainly at this point, it is. Nothing's going to change. I don't have any expectation of being changed. But what I want is for my choices to be validated as good, and me, as a result, validated as a good person. So I just need whatever I'm going to do anyway, whatever my combination of laziness and stress makes me feel like I have to do. I don't want that to just be some submission to the market or some unfortunate reality. I want it to be actually good, and I want everyone to tell me that it's actually good. And then that's why you got to craft a nice, unique set of specific oppressions that justify why, no, when I do it, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm there are definitely like a ton of disabilities where it's like you wouldn't go to the grocery store, right? Like, yeah, if you like can't walk or what, like a billion of them. The thing is, I don't think those people are like having arguments justifying this. It's like self-evident to them. Yeah. They're like, yeah, I can't fucking walk. Yeah, I use Instacart. And yeah, I would, there's nothing really bad you could say to those people. Like, yeah, it's a bad exploitative service, but so are a lot of things. But yeah, you can't fucking walk. When someone is they're arguing for 3 days about how they're entitled to use this, that's when I think that they don't fully believe that they are entitled to use this.
Yeah, they feel guilty. If they didn't feel guilty, it would not. The wicked flee when none pursueth. They would not feel the need to justify this because there is no real argument to be made that this is some sort of that the extremely leftist cat has harmed anyone. But you are harming yourself with your own nagging doubt and guilt that you want the machine to fix for you. What else are you on there for if not to fix those feelings?
And like to that point, Matt, like there's a lot of people being like chronically ill and disabled people. Like, please do not feel guilty about using Instacart. You're allowed to use Instacart. It doesn't like don't let anyone shame you out of it.
It's extremely leftist for you to use Instacart.
And look, it's like it's not good or evil. It's just a thing that exists.
Right.
And if you need to use it or don't need to use it, or if you're just fucking lazy and use it, like it's not really an issue. What you can't do is demand a level of like you can't be the boss of the person who's being hyper exploited to buy your fucking groceries for you. And like that's really what you're talking about, man. It's like, yeah, we want all our own individual decisions to be like made virtuous, but also what we want to do is the ways in which like we're shit on and made to feel less than or stressed out. We'd like to do those to other people too.
Yes.
But crucially be praised for doing so.
Yes. We gotta find somebody else to dump all of our feelings of exploitation and inadequacy and anxiety on, and that means bossing around anyone we can in our IRL life, and then laundering that experience with our good, extremely leftist friends on the internet.